Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Quite excited actually today. One of my favorite rappers, you know, turned coach, turned very successful brother, man. And I'm very honored, you know, to be sitting across you, bro, because I've never met you, man. I met you digitally, you know, through the socials. Because you actually spoke on something that, like, I wouldn't say triggered me, but I actually agree with it, you know. But I wanted to like pick your brain a little bit on that because I know your social media presence. You're not spitting out unresearched and you know very misleading kind of content. And I was like, man, this is a brother I have to talk to. You know. So Hakeem Anderson, bro, welcome to the show, man.
Sir. It's actually Hakeem Anderson Lesolang. Gotta say the whole thing like a pimp named Slickback. Gotta say the whole thing.
Man, I love it.
Hakeem Anderson Lesolang. Thank you so much for having me, bro.
Okay, let's dig into that name, bro.
Yeah, man.
Why Hakeem Anderson Lesolang?
It's actually Abdul Hakeem Anderson Lesolang because my Tatam Khoraka was spicy, bro.
Yeah.
He was just a spicy dude. He was like, every kid in this household is going to be named a beautiful name, and those names are going to lead them back to God. Like, regardless of what happens to you, your names are going to lead you back to God. And for me, I've always loved God because of what I saw happen in my family. Yeah. And just putting your trust in something higher than you, putting your faith in something higher than you, giving your life to something, submitting to something higher than you and higher than man, and not fearing anything else. It's gotten me into places and spaces I never thought I'd ever reach, especially for a dude from the place I come from. Like I come from a village, grew up as a goat herder.
Okay. So which village is this?
Madidi, in the northwest.
Wow.
Yeah. Like I say Madidi and people are like, I only know like 4 people.
I'm like, okay, I asked you where it is, but now I'm like, okay, well, yeah.
If you know Harangua, you probably heard of Madidi.
Okay.
Harangua, Hebron, Havalatsane, Klephat, Mapwane, then Madidi.
Sure.
Yeah, Winterfeld areas. That's
so okay.
Like it's a village. Grew up there, goat herder, loved livestock. I loved reading. I loved silence. Yeah, it took me away from everything that was happening in the yard, everything that was happening on my street, everything that was happening around us. That kind of like had me conflicted a lot. So I read a lot of books, and it kind of like opened my mind, and I got to dream.
Yes,
I got to dream like and see myself in places and spaces, and like eventually I found myself in those places and spaces. So.
Man, yeah, and I mean, you know, you went into the arts quite deeply, man.
Deeply, yeah.
And you know, I mean, art and not just like rapping, just for the sake of it. You actually had like quite a lot of substance, man, and that's what we aiming to get out of Hakeem today. You know,
you know what the ratchet stuff.
Before we even switched on these mics, I was like, damn, I wish we had recorded half of what we were talking about already.
Yes, sir.
You know,
yes, sir.
And I mean, you guys can see the sweat already. You know, you already
like
know we're talking to a spiritual brother right now, man.
You already know who I belong to, bro. Like, yeah, man. Yeah, man. Thank you, bro. Thank you. I appreciate you, man.
So, I mean, let's dig into this, man. Yeah. So, you know, you made a comment about the alpha male.
Yeah.
And, you know, right now, if you go on socials, you go on YouTube, a lot of this term has been thrown around. Of course. And a lot of guys now are saying, yeah, I'm an alpha male, you know. But I don't know if we know what we're talking about exactly.
Yeah. I wrote that quote because it gets quite disheartening to see people, men, brothers especially, define themselves with things they don't even know. Like, we don't even know the origin of these things, but we define ourselves with these things. And like, just to like give you a disdain, like that my disdain for that particularly is when I was a rapper and like the songs that we recorded and like, you know, Cap City, like I run Cap City. and like one day, bro, like one day I was at the State Theater and I was like I'm rapping, right? Like I'm doing a show and it's one of like the dopest shows I've ever done. And when I'm done, like I always like take 10 minutes alone. Like my team knows this. I always take 10 minutes alone just to like recalibrate and come back to myself, right? Because I'm in constant flow when I'm singing.
Yeah.
I get hit by this existential crisis.
Mm-hmm.
Young 24-year-old getting hit with
now you're getting
like a quarter-life crisis at State Theater in the fitting rooms, bro. Yeah. Like, I'm like, yeah, you run Cap City, but like, do you even have a house here, bro? Like, do you even have a, like, do you
Mm.
own the block? Like, do you own the soil, the concrete, and any structure?
Man.
And the answer was no. And I'm like, who the hell are we, bro?
Who the hell are we?
Who the hell are we? And so, like, my disdain for giving myself a title I, one, haven't earned, two, I don't know the origin of, three, I don't even know the principles of that title. Like, we lose ourselves willingly, and we lose ourselves to ignorance a lot. And a lot of dudes pride themselves with being lost. And I'm like, yo, but like, I know what the result of this is going to be, and I know who is going to suffer the result. You know what I mean? I know who suffers the consequence. It's going to hit you. Like, that karma is going to hit you, or it might miss you in your arrogance. It might even miss you and hit your own children. But it's going to hit a lot of people, and that causes damage. Who's going to be pointing fingers at the damage and saying, this person, that sex, or this sex, and us? The same people who perpetrate these same damages are the same ones that are going to be victim to those damages. So we caught in this loop cycle. So the alpha male trope, I'll call it a trope because that's exactly what it is the alpha male, beta male trope is basically compulsive narcissists.
Yeah. Agreed.
Compulsive narcissists that thrive on making people that are different, or men that are different from them, smaller. Yes, they thrive. They position themselves in society and in every circle or in every aspect as the one who's more stronger, the one who deserves more of. And it's dumb. Hold on, I'm gonna just say this. Fuck your bro code.
And what is a bro code? Like, is that defined in
narcissism, toxicity, fraud, masculinity? Like, it's assumed masculinity. You assume that to be a man, you have to be a certain way abrasive to women and to other men that you think lesser than. Yeah. Right? Yeah. That you think this man is lesser than because he doesn't look like you, dress like you, drink like you, make money like you, have hoes like you, right? Because
it's all for the money and the hoes, right?
Bro,
that's like.
Thank you for saying that. Thank you for saying that. For every man that's watching this, for every woman that's watching this, every single thing we do as men is for women or the woman. It's for women, and you're going to use these women as a school to graduate to that 10 that you decided on when you were 14 or 13, when you said, these are the qualities that I want in a wife. Everyone else who doesn't have these qualities or has one of these qualities, or not even, it's a stepping stone, bro. It's a school. It's a polishing school. It's a polishing. So fuck your bro code completely. The alpha male was first. It was wolves. Yeah, because that's from like primates and wolves.
Exactly,
and also if you're a primate, do you understand? Like you are saying I'm an alpha male, so I'm an animal with animalistic behavior, and I'm going to exhibit animalistic behavior. But that book basically says wolves in captivity that are traumatized by captivity, and so there's going to be a male that's like shell-shocked, right? Like they shell-shocked by the trauma of being in this environment that they're not used to, that's not natural, and they go into basically any male who tries to show gusto or machismo. They go into to tread them down and bite them down and kill them in order to usurp whatever it is and to prop themselves up, right? And when the author of the book, the psychologist, when he realized that this is, oh snap, men are taking this and saying, oh, I'm an alpha male, beta male, follow me, you a follower, and you a simp, he completely abrogated that. He was like, no, cancel all of this nonsense. Cancel. I disavow any man who calls themselves an alpha male, because you're basically toxic, you're broken, you are saying, I recognize my trauma, and I'm going to use my trauma to traumatize everyone else and re-traumatize myself in the game. So when I say fuck your bro code, that's exactly what I mean. You cannot, for the life of you, if you're a sane, reasoning man, if you're a sane, reasoning boy, tell yourself that you're an alpha male and not know what the origins are. And now you do. So now, because you're informed, the burden of knowledge is to actually use it. And if you don't use it, you will suffer the consequence of not using that language, that language and that knowledge appropriately. You know what I mean? So when I wrote that, I was just like, I see y'all calling men simps. I see y'all calling yourselves alpha male and blue pillars and red pillars and like all of these.
That is just. I appreciate that you touched on the red and blue pill because we headed there, man.
Bro,
listen to this, right?
We already headed. We already there. They've made it's a cult, bro.
Yes, sir.
It's a cult of broken men that couldn't get the girl and got broken. They got broken even further.
Yeah.
They didn't know how to handle rejection, and now they have to use manipulation and coercion. So you're basically saying you're basically saying that you will hear a woman say no, and you will come up with a scheme. And calling yourself an alpha, like, blinds everyone to the fact that you came up with a scheme to dupe the woman, to lie to her, manipulate her, coerce her to change her mind. Because it also goes back to the township, right? I'm going to press on until she says yes. I'm going to break her resolve until she says it's literally the same thing. And it's not okay.
But how did we make this thing okay?
Society.
Is it society, or is it just like a bunch of guys from back in the day?
It's not from my generation.
It's not from my
generation. It's like 2 generations old. You know what I mean? 2 generations before us. Why do you think your great-grandparents and your grandparents hated when your mother left with a guy? And they called them borabaki?
Yes, sir.
Or get the fat and set it. Yes, sir. Why do you think they hated it? Because they knew how much it rips away a person, a girl or a guy, from morality. And morality has been put in place, whether it's traditional morality, religious morality, or morality just this is how things get done, so you don't have to suffer the consequence. And if you suffer the consequence, it's going to fall on your children, and then their children, and then their children. Right?
But do we think legacy? I mean, right now it feels like blue pill, red pill, all of this. It's all about me, right? I'm not thinking about after me. I'm not thinking about the person I'm even coercing to like get into my room. Like what happens? Now I got into my room and then what? There's this whole thing now. I read something that's saying, the burden of being this red pill guy is that now you've now kind of shut your eyes to what true womanhood is. And now you're using these terms that you're just pulling off the net. None of this it's in a good book where you can actually read and get knowledge to tell you. There's some guy who wrote some nonsense, bro.
Do they even read, bro?
Well, that's a whole nother discussion.
A tweet isn't knowledge, bro. That's a headline isn't knowledge.
But we're using Twitter as an encyclopedia right now, ain't it?
We are. We are using it as our encyclopedia, but there's more to life than a tweet, than 140 characters. Way more to life than 140 characters. And you can't decide to be my poem. You can't decide to be my anger or my rage or my resentment or my disappointment or my brokenness. You can't decide to be so you say we're basically saying 140 characters. Clickbait.
Yes, sir.
For retweets and likes, right? The person who wrote it did it for tweets and for likes and retweets. Just for that. Right? They don't care how abrasive it is. They don't care about the consequences. They don't care about the looping rebound and the ripple effect of the thing that they said. And you take that thing and you make it a reality and part of your identity. How dumb do you have to be to do that, bro? How dumb do you have to, like, you took because it resonated with some pain that you felt for the longest time and never, like, it validated your pain. And it validated your pain so much that you made it an identity. That's weakness. That's weakness, man.